Hello, everyone, and welcome to National Championship Week. Yep, college football finally comes to an end here as the national championships have come and gone, and we've crowned a winner. And also, the playoffs of the NFL are still going on, which, I guess, let's talk about the NFL playoffs first, because those happened first. Kansas City, Houston. Oh, God. It's getting really bad, man. It's really bad. Kansas City wins this, but the score on the scoreboard isn't really reflective of what it actually was. It was less 12-23, and I'm saying 12 because I'm not counting that intentional safety at the end of the game. It wasn't 12-23. It was Houston 12, Kansas City 10, the refs 13. Oh my God, those refs were awful. This is the kind of stuff that gives material for people who think this stuff's rigged. It's so, every third down, I was just waiting for a yellow rag to come out and give Kansas City 15 yards. It was awful. There was the two big ones, that roughing the passer call on Mahomes when it was clearly the shoulder, and then that freaking unnecessary roughness call where they didn't even touch him. The Texans defenders hit each other. It was such a... I don't want to talk about the refs, but it's hard not to because it's so blatantly awful, and I don't know why this keeps happening. And then there's, Mahomes doing that stupid flop thing and, clearly in trying to get flag calls, and just... God, I hope the Bills kick their butt. But, yeah... Kansas City wins that. They move on to the AFC Championship game again. Please, somebody stop them from three-peating. So, as for Houston, I mean, nobody expected you to be here on account of you were hardcore in the fraud alert, but LA kind of charged it, so you're here, and yeah, that did not end well. Hopefully, you'll be healthier. You can build up some more parts. You're not going to lose any crazy coaching staff in the offseason. But yeah, next game, Commies Lions. I was going in expecting the Lions to, pretty handily beat them. Obviously, they had a lot of injuries on defense, and, the Commies have a really good offense, but I still think they handle it. No, they did not handle it. The Commies actually won that one, and they're going to the NFC Championship game for the first time since the early 90s. Yeah, that was not a very good performance by the Lions. They were undisciplined on defense, got a lot of unnecessary penalties. Jared Goff was a turnover machine. I think had 4 of them. And just, yeah, you did see the Vikings in 2 weeks, but it was in Cancun. Yeah, just a disappointing end to the season for the Lions. Yeah, there's a lot of excuses. Their defense was wrecked up, but they were still able to do just fine during the regular season. I don't know what happened here that caused them to collapse. I mean, I know what happened. It was Jared Goff turning into goof. But I guess all the Lions can hope for is to keep building up here and try again next year, which, I mean, most of their parts are still here. They still have Dan Campbell. They still have Ben Johnson. No, they don't have Ben Johnson. The Bears have Ben Johnson now. Okay, that's a surprise. I thought Ben was going to stay in Detroit until at least they won a Super Bowl, but no, Ben's going to Chicago, which, dang it, I wanted Ben Johnson for the Cowboys, but yeah, Ben, he has a good offense there in Chicago. Hopefully the McCasseys don't screw up, interfering with anything, and hopefully they don't mismanage it here, because they've had some of the best off seasons in a while, and they can't get it to form together to actually make a good season, So, yeah, very big loss for the Lions. Hopefully, Dan Campbell isn't just a product of Ben Johnson, and also hopefully Ben Johnson's not just a product of Dan Campbell. But, yeah, I still think that they're not as, obvious front runners as they were this year, but Lions are still going to be in contention for a playoff next year, and just unfortunate that this is how it ends. The Commanders... they make it to the NFC Championship game, which means now the Cowboys have the longest NFC Championship drought. Ugh. This hurts. This is frustrating and annoying. The worst part is, I'm gonna have to root for the commies because guess who won the Eagles-Rams game? Yeah, the Eagles they didn't dominate the Rams, but they pretty handily beat them. They beat them on the ground. Saquon's an absolute menace. He is so good. I cannot believe the Giants got rid of him. The Rams did try to keep it close there. They had, even in like the snowy conditions, which I know the Rams aren't used to, they were keeping it close, but at the end of the day, the Eagles won that one. And the NFC Championship game is going to be an NFC East title fight. Oh, God. This playoffs feels like was specifically made to just make me miserable as a Cowboys fan. Like, these are the kind of playoffs that make me gotta question whether I like football or not. Like, I don't have to do this. I don't have to spend my Sundays this way, but just, yeah. NFC East, NFC Championship game, pain. And the last game was Bills-Baltimore. That was a very good game. That was a solid performance by the Bills. And the Ravens, they were looking bad in the first half, but then Lamar kind of stopped doing playoff Lamar in the second half and actually got this team back into the game. And drove down the field. That was an incredible last drive by Baltimore to tie this game up. No, they don't tie it up. Andrews drops a 2-point conversion. Again with the Ravens. I mean, granted, luckily for Lamar, that was a good enough performance on his end that I don't feel like that's going to be like playoff Lamar choking thing, but that's a frustrating way to go out if you're the Ravens. So yeah, the AFC Championship game is going to be Kansas City Bills, and Kansas owns the Bills in the playoffs. That's, oh man, this Super Bowl is going to be freaking Chiefs-Eagles, isn't it? Wow, these playoffs have been kind of sucky for me, and I hope that feeling is something that I share. It's not just Cowboys fan being salty, but Kansas City, I don't want them to win because then I think they're gonna tie our Super. Well, first off, they're gonna 3-peat, which is the first time that's ever happened if they win, and they're gonna get 5 Super Bowls, which ties ours, and I don't want that. And also, I don't want the NFC East teams to win. But also, it's Buffalo, and I don't want to put my faith in Buffalo because their whole thing is losing Super Bowls. This is a NFC Championship game, AFC Championship game thing I'm not looking forward to, but it's gonna happen either way. So yeah, that's the playoffs. Now on to college football, the finality of college football, as the national championship between Ohio State versus Notre Dame. So, Notre Dame starts off this game strong with just this long, grindy drive that's hard-nosed, rough football, and they get a touchdown, and the quarterback's puking on the sideline. So, great for Notre Dame, but also that's not sustainable, and it was not at all, because from then on, Ohio State pretty much just crushed them, completely. It was 21-7 at the half. It was all Ohio State all the way. And I'm thinking there, oh boy, here it goes again. Notre Dame doing Notre Dame things. Every time they can't get their crap together. Just Notre Dame got into the playoffs on an easy schedule. They lost. They should have been under a normal 4-team format. They would have gotten out on that friggin' NIU loss. And just it's the same thing every time with Notre Dame. Every single time. Since '88, it'd be hilarious if it weren't so predictable. I'm so sick of this. But the thing is, Marcus Freeman, as I said last time, is not Brian Kelly. Where Brian Kelly, at the half of the 2012 National Championship game against Alabama, said the only way that they're going to win is if Alabama doesn't walk out of that locker room. Marcus Freeman said, I didn't hear no bell. And he tried. He certainly did. He got the team to keep on fighting and push and get some touchdowns. And it was 28-14 at one point, or not 28-14, 28-15. And they kept pushing, and it got to the point where they got within one score again, and they got a third down, and then they forget to cover Jeremiah. So yep, Ohio State wins this. From there it was trivial at that point. They just kicked the field goal and time wind down, and Ohio State is your national championships for 2024. credit to Notre Dame. Like I said, the Brian Kelly Notre Dame would not have done that, would not have at least tried to come back. But you still lost. You're still titleless, going on 40 years. Not 40 years, but like close to 40 years. And so, yeah, Ohio State, national champions. You better thank Michigan, man, because after that loss, Ohio State became a team on a mission. Like, that was... I don't know how Michigan fans feel about this, because on the one hand, they still got the win, and they have a Natty over, according to transitive property, but also Ohio State won it, so... But yeah, just a really hardcore, dominant performance all throughout the playoffs. They crushed Tennessee. They crushed Oregon. They didn't really crush Texas, but they had a pretty solid win against Texas. And they crushed Notre Dame for the first half of this game and then still won by a pretty solid margin at the end of the day. And so Ohio State is college football's best of the best. Ryan Day, he survived the hot seat of you lost to Michigan 4 years in a row. The only way you're gonna keep your job is if you win as a Natty. And guess what happened? Yeah, I don't really have a lot to say because I'm not an Ohio State fan. I guess I can feel a little good that Texas did end up losing to the eventual champions. But yeah, not sure what to say about the future of Ohio State because again, I don't know a whole lot about it because not an Ohio State fan. But I mean, I'd imagine Ryan Day's not going anywhere. They're going to keep recruiting well in the offseason. And Ohio State's not going away. Notre Dame's not going away. But yeah, that's the national championship. College football is all done. And we'll have to wait another half a year for it to come back. Oh, boy. But hopefully, next season, the Longhorns will improve some more. Will become better. The Arch era begins. And things will turn out a little better for us. So that's college football. That's the NFL playoffs. Very likely, I'm not going to be doing a video on the conference championship games for the NFL because I'm going to be out of town. So I guess next time you'll hear from me will either be like a Super Bowl preview or the Super Bowl after the Super Bowl itself, and I could talk about that. Or I could just not do any of that and end football here. So yeah, thank you for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and until next time, bye.